Did you hear what happened to the Thompsons? Mrs. Jenkins whispered, her eyes wide with a mix of horror and glee. They got kicked out of the neighborhood, just like that. I leaned in, my curiosity piqued. What? Why? She leaned closer, her voice dropping to a conspiratorial murmur. HOA drama. Big time. The story began a few months ago when the Thompsons moved into the cul-de-sac. They were a young couple, barely out of their 20s, with a baby on the way. They seemed like the perfect addition to our picture-perfect neighborhood. But appearances can be deceiving. The first sign of trouble came when Mr. Thompson decided to paint their front door a bright shade of red. In our neighborhood, doors were supposed to be neutral colors, white, beige, or gray. The HOA rules were clear, no deviations. When Mrs. Thompson saw the HOA president, Mr. Harris, glaring at their door, she tried to explain. "It's just a door," she said, her voice trembling. "We thought it would add a little personality." Mr. Harris shook his head, his face turning red. "Personality? This isn't a college dorm, ma'am. It's a neighborhood. We have standards." The Thompsons were given a week to repaint. They did, but the damage was done. Gossip spread like wildfire. Mrs. Jenkins was the queen of the grapevine, and she made sure everyone knew about the red door scandal. Then came the backyard barbecue. The Thompsons had invited a few friends over, and things got a little rowdy. Music blared, laughter echoed, and someone accidentally knocked over a grill, setting a small section of the lawn on fire. It was quickly extinguished, but Mr. Harris was livid. "Quiet hours start at 10 p.m., he barked, storming over to their house. "And you can't have open flames without permission." Mrs. Thompson, exhausted from the day, snapped back, "We didn't know. We're new here." Mr. Harris's face turned an even deeper shade of red. "Ignorance of the rules is no excuse. This is your final warning." The final straw came when the Thompsons' baby was born. They had a beautiful little girl, but the HOA had strict noise regulations. Crying babies were not exempt. One night, when the baby was particularly fussy, Mr. Harris pounded on their door. "I can hear her," he shouted. "You need to keep her quiet." Mrs. Thompson, sleep-deprived and frustrated, opened the door. "She's a baby. She cries." Mr. Harris's patience was gone. "You have until the end of the week to move out. This is not a place for your kind." The Thompsons were devastated. They packed up their belongings, their baby, and left. The neighborhood watched in silence, some feeling a pang of guilt, others feeling a sense of relief that the troublemakers were gone. But Mrs. Jenkins wasn't done. She had a knack for digging up dirt, and she found something that would shake the neighborhood to its core. It turned out that Mr. Harris had a secret. He had been embezzling HOA funds for years. When the authorities were called, he was arrested and taken away in handcuffs. The neighborhood was in an uproar. How could the man who had enforced the rules so strictly be a criminal himself? In the end, justice was served. The Thompsons were invited back, and the community held a meeting to elect a new HOA president. This time they chose someone who valued compassion and understanding over strict adherence to rules. As I sat on my porch, sipping lemonade, I couldn't help but think about the lesson we had all learned. Rules are important, but so is empathy. The Thompsons had been treated unfairly, but their story had brought about a much-needed change. Mrs. Jenkins walked by, her usual gossip-loving self. "You know," she said with a rare smile, "I think we might be a better neighborhood now." I nodded, feeling a sense of peace. Yeah, we might be. And as the sun set over the cul-de-sac, I knew that while drama and conflict would always be a part of life, we had learned to handle it with a little more grace.